Alright, today's the day. Get these squats in. Your mind squat. Okay, come on. Let's get this one out. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's one. Let's go. Let's keep going. Man. Last one, let's go. Here we go. Back. Jeez. Freaking squats.
Hey, you alright?
I've been better, my back. Squats kill my back, man. Kill it.
Did you always have this pain or is it recent?
I always, whenever I squat or whenever I just, get off my chair, my back kills me, man.
I noticed from over there, your hips are really tight. And it could be one of the reasons why, your back hurts or, your squats hurt, the way you do your squats. And, I could also tell by the way you're standing and the way your hips are, you have an anterior pelvic tilt, which has a lot of problems. One of them is back pain, because your performance. And by really helping releasing those hips, we can actually get your squat better and possibly get you out of back pain.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, now, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of job do you do?
I have a typical 9 to 5.
So you probably sit a lot, right?
I don't sit that much. I sit only about, 6 to 7 hours a day.
Okay, well, that's still sit a lot. So, then that could be also one of the reasons why your hips are so tight, being on that position for so long. So, let me show you what we can do to help you. How's that?
That sounds great, man.
All right, let's do this.
Thank you. How's it going, everyone? This is Luis and Jonathan from Aspire to Wellness. Welcome to our first video of our Part 3 series dedicated to those that are sedentary, those that sit, a good chunk of their day in desks, chairs, just kind of in a hunched-over position. What we want to do here is we want to focus on the corrective stretches, foam rolling techniques, and also some exercises that can help cure a lot of the imbalances that are associated with prolonged sitting. So what we want to do is start off today with this first video being dedicated just towards the hips. And what we did here is we actually broke everything down as far as weak muscles, tight muscles, elongated muscles, and all that good stuff. And we're going to break it down so you guys can, see the damages associated with sitting down in a seated position just as we are right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take it over, pass it over to John, and he's going to describe some of the imbalances associated with sitting down all day.
All right, guys. So basically, as you guys can see here, we have the muscles of the hip, the hip complex out here. We have what's called the anterior portion of it, so the front of your hips, and the back of your hips. So in a seated position, what happens is this muscle here, the psoas major, which attaches to your spine through your femur, tends to get really tight. And it's also a really powerful muscle. And as you can see, the attachment, it can easily tilt your hips forward. And so that's what's called anterior pelvic tilt, which can cause a lot of compression on your back. L5 is one, and cause a lot of back pain as well. And also, simply by releasing that muscle, your performance can also increase. Your vertical jump increase, your sprint, your squat. A lot of things can benefit from that. And then another one that causes a lot of problems is TFL. And it all goes back to the position of your femur and your hips. So we'll get a little more into detail a little bit later. And what happens on these front muscles? These muscles are the muscles that tend to get tight the most, which is going to be your psoas, also your quads, rectus femoris, and the abductor complex also can get really tight at times, and also again pull down on your hips and get your hips out of alignment. Get your pelvis out of alignment, which can cause a lot of compensations and a lot of problems. So we'll show you how to do certain things to help you release that tightness and that tension. And on the back portion, because we've seen for such long periods of time, we develop what's called glute amnesia. So basically it comes down to weakness, underdevelop of those muscles. And also a lot of people on the gym will train what's called the mirror or the beach muscles, which is the front, and we forget about the back, which is the glutes, the hamstrings. And so what happens with these muscles, they become lengthened and weak. So again, what we're shooting for is creating a balance, so strengthening those muscles so that they can have the right tension, the right length, and also have the balance on the front and the back of the body. So your body will be a little more balanced as well as your hips. And
alright guys, so next video or next segment, we're going to go ahead and show you from a seated position exactly what happens when we sit down, and then we'll go ahead and go to stand up, okay? Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and take it from the actual seated position, where you can really see what's going on with the body when you're in this seated position all day. So Coach John is actually in the typical hunched over, crouched over position that we're always, a lot of us are in throughout the day. So if you look at from the head down and look at his neck, his back of his cervical spine here, the back of the muscles there are elongated, and what happens is it brings the chin forward, causes a lot of issues, and just creates a lot of issues in the head, and kind of gives headaches and just tight neck muscles and all that bad stuff. So working our way down, we're going to look at his back here. His upper back is rounded, the muscles there become weak, elongated, which will translate to tight pecs, overactive pecs. But for the sake of this video, we're going to focus on the hip region. So if you look at his hips here, he's in a L position, and generally what happens is the hip flexors are primarily responsible for hip flexion. So it actually brings your femur in towards your chest, to say. And when he's in that seated position, his hip flexors are actually shortened. They're actually bringing his knee in towards his chest, which is the purpose of them for flexion. So what he's experiencing now is a overactive tight hip flexor. So now when he goes ahead and stands up, he is in that same position. So what happens is now his butt is out, and his hip flexors are so tight, so they're actually pulling on his back, making his back muscles, overwork, making the back muscles ache, kind of give you that pain, that burning sensation we experience. And also too, the abdominals will become elongated, because when you have a tight back, something else is giving. So as the abdominals become weak, they become elongated. Now what happens is none of us is going to walk with a butt out position. So what we do is we compensate by sticking our chest up and overextending the back, which causes a lot of issues, back aches, back pains. And then when you try to squat, deadlift, or do any kind of running, the back will kill you because you're in an overextended position. So what we want to do today is we want to fix a lot of the problems associated with this position, and so that way you guys can have that natural hips forward and abs and tight, back straight. So now he's properly aligned, and now he can go ahead and enjoy his life without having chronic pain. So our next segment, we're going to go through a lot of the stretches, form 1 techniques, and also exercises that will fix a lot of the issues associated with sitting.
Alright guys, so now we move into the forearm area. Now the reason why we forearm is because for prolonged periods of time when we sit down and we do certain activities, we develop in the fascia what's called a trigger point. So trigger points are usually knots within the fascia itself, and what happens is if we try to stretch a muscle, and I got this from my coil, we have a little knot right here, so this is your trigger point. You try to stretch a muscle, all you're doing is making it tighter. When we release it, we're actually really not elongating the tissue, and we get a better tissue quality. So in this case, we're going to start rolling the piriformis here, the glute area, which in order to release the hip, we must release the piriformis first. So I'm going to do a few rolls here on the glutes. And here what you want to do is you want to go to figure 4, and then just roll up and down here. And then now we're going to transition into the TFL in the IT band area, which is the side of your body here. We're going to go for a few rolls here. And in here, you got to use a little bit of leverage with your arms and your legs as well. And then once you got that done, you want to do anywhere from 10 to 20 rolls per section. And then here we're going to go into the teeth, the hip, which is the psoas iliacus. Perfect. And We're going to add one more, which a lot of people don't do, inner thighs, adductors. So let's go ahead and get those in there. And believe it or not, those get extremely tight. Perfect. Alright guys, so now that we warm up the tissue, a good quality of tissue, now we're going to go ahead and stretch those muscles. So in here we're going to stretch the glute area again. So we're going to stretch up there 4 minutes. Pretty much everything surrounding the glute and the hip rotator. So just kind of go ahead and reach through the loop of his legs and go ahead and pull those there. And so now as you do this, you also want to contract your abs slightly. So you're integrating your core and allowing those muscles to release and fully lengthen and stretch. And you want to hold this for about anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. And then we're going to go ahead and then from there you want to go ahead and switch sides. In this case, we're going to go ahead and transition to a hip stretch. So we're going to go half knee down, half knee up. Okay, so now this stretch, we're going to stay nice and tall again. And then what we want to do here is you want to tuck your tailbone in here. So go and tuck your pelvis. There we go. And again, you want to contract your abdominal muscles in here. And what you do here is you're going to drive this hip forward slightly. So you just keep driving. And what I recommend doing is taking a breath, release, and then drive forward. So you go as far, a little bit more. And here, we can also get some of the adductors and the TFL as well. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to rotate his foot in sliding, and then drive the hip forward again. So this is going to target a little more of the inner muscles of the leg here. And now we're going to go ahead and do the opposite. We're going to get this foot to the outside. A little bit more if you can. And now we're going to work on that TFL there. So go ahead and drive again. Alright, now you've got 3 portions in one there. And then now we're going to move into our next stretch, which is going to be stretching a little more of the adductors again. A lot of people neglect those muscles, but you know they can do so much for you. And here you want to drive your hips into the ground, and again, every time you take a breath and release, you want to drive your legs apart a little more, so you really get that stretch. And as you rock back more, you're going to be stretching those muscles a little bit more. Again, just kind of get your tolerance and go as far as you can go. Don't overdo it, but don't overdo it as well. Okay, and lastly, I want to show you Luis's special stretch here, which is going to help you again get those hip rotators, and really it's just a full on stretch of the hip. So go ahead. Again, take a deep breath, release, and then pull back. Alrighty.
Alright everyone, this concludes video number 1 for our 3-part video series. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video today. We try to keep it very simple, straight to the point. Again, if you guys have any questions about what we did, or if there's something we didn't explain thoroughly enough, feel free to call us, email us, or even message us through Facebook as well. But for more exercises and more in depth on the foam rolling techniques, we're going to be hosting a full mobility seminar here Saturday the 21st. We haven't decided a time yet. We'll put some more info on our Facebook page. And we'll definitely go more into detail on different tactics for foam rolling, more dynamic stretching, and just more overall general mobility techniques that we like to apply to our clients here. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Thank you very much for watching all of our videos on our Facebook page, liking all of our posts, sharing all of our posts, and just kind of keeping our Facebook page growing, and also helping our team grow here. So this is Luis, Coach John signing out, and thank you.
Oh, I was supposed to go.
Yeah, that's good.